Every so often, a story comes along that not only shocks the world, but leaves us questioning how something so horrifying can unfold right before our eyes. In today's video, we dive deep into the chilling case of a woman whose most terrifying moments were caught on camera, sending ripples of fear across the globe. This isn't just a story of a horrifying incident. It's a tale of survival, resilience, and the unimaginable horrors that can lurk in the most unsuspecting of places. This is CrimeSpot, and today we will uncover the terrifying moments of one woman's life that were captured on camera and shocked the world. Buckle up, because what you're about to hear will leave you speechless. It all started in 2018 when Emily Thompson, a young woman in her mid-20s, was living a quiet life in a small town in Oregon. By all accounts, Emily was an ordinary person. She worked as a graphic designer, loved hiking, and enjoyed the simple pleasures of life. But one day, her ordinary world would be upended by an experience so terrifying, it would become a nightmare that the world could never forget. Emily had recently moved into a new apartment building on the outskirts of town, a place she had dreamed of living in for years. The apartment was cozy, tucked away in a peaceful neighborhood. But what Emily didn't know was that the building she had chosen to call home was hiding a dark secret, one that would soon come to light in the most terrifying way possible. Quiet, suspenseful music sounds of footsteps. One evening, after returning home from work, Emily settled into her usual routine. She cooked dinner, watched a bit of TV, and then began to unwind for the night. It was a quiet, unremarkable evening, until around 11:30 p.m., when things took an unexpected and chilling turn. Emily's phone suddenly buzzed with an alert from her home security camera system. It was set up as a precaution, just to monitor the front door and surrounding area. She had no reason to believe anything was wrong, but this time, the notification was different. The camera had detected movement outside her front door. Curious, Emily opened the live feed on her phone. What she saw next would change her life forever. The footage showed a shadowy figure standing outside her apartment door. At first, the figure appeared to be a passerby, someone who might have mistaken her apartment for another. But as the minutes ticked by, the person stood there, staring at the door, as though they were waiting for something. Emily's heart began to race. She checked the peephole, but there was no one there. Panic began to settle in. What was this person doing outside her apartment? Was it a prank? Or was there something far more sinister at play? Heart pounding. At first, Emily tried to calm herself. She assumed the figure was just a random person, maybe someone who had lost their way. But as time passed, her fear only deepened. The figure didn't move for what seemed like hours. As though they were deliberately waiting, Emily began to feel the heavy weight of dread bearing down on her. She was alone, isolated, and now being watched by an unknown entity. She called the police, but when the officers arrived, the figure was gone. They searched the area around the apartment complex, but found no trace of the mysterious person. Emily thought maybe it was just a fluke, a one-time incident that would never happen again. But that wasn't the case. The following week, Emily began to notice strange things happening around her apartment. Her personal items seemed to be out of place. Things she had left in one spot were mysteriously moved to another. At first, she thought she was just imagining it. Maybe she was forgetful. The unexplainable events escalated. One evening, as she was scrolling through her phone, Emily heard what sounded like a faint tapping on the window. The noise was soft but deliberate. She rushed to the window, pulling back the blinds, but saw nothing. Confused and frightened, she tried to dismiss it as the wind, but deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. Then came the second notification from her security system. This time, the camera detected movement inside the building, on the floor directly beneath her apartment. She watched, holding her breath, as the security footage showed a figure moving through the halls, stopping just outside her door. The figure remained in the hallway for several minutes, pressing their ear against her door, as if listening for something. Emily's stomach churned as she stared at the footage. She felt trapped, like someone was watching her every move. The police were called again, but when they arrived, they found no one. The building's hallways were empty. Emily knew what she had seen. She knew someone was out there, stalking her, and the fear was growing unbearable. Things continued to escalate. The tapping on the window became more frequent. the figures outside her door more persistent. Emily could no longer ignore the fact that someone was targeting her. She had no idea why, but it was clear that she was being watched. Then, one night, things took a terrifying turn. As Emily was getting ready for bed, she heard footsteps in the hallway outside her door. This time, she knew it wasn't just her imagination. The footsteps were slow and deliberate, as if someone was creeping through the hallway, trying to remain silent. Her phone buzzed again with a notification from the security camera. The footage showed a figure standing at the end of the hallway, staring directly at Emily's apartment door. The figure didn't move. They just stood there, frozen, as if daring her to open the door. Emily's breath caught in her throat as the figure began to slowly approach her apartment, build up, fear and adrenaline coursing through her veins. She tried to contact the police again, but when she looked back at the screen, the footage was gone. The security camera feed had been cut. Emily was now completely alone, trapped in a building with someone, or something, who wanted to do her harm. She bolted the door, turned off all the lights, and hid in the corner of her apartment, holding her breath. She had no idea who this person was or what they wanted, but she knew one thing: she was no longer safe. Her life had been turned upside down, and the terror she felt that night was only the beginning. Quiet. The next morning, Emily's worst fears were realized. When the police finally arrived to investigate, they found a series of disturbing clues. The apartment complex's security footage had been wiped clean. Someone had gained access to the building's system, erasing every piece of evidence. The only thing left were the haunting memories in Emily's mind and the camera footage she had managed to capture. Emily was not just the victim of a random stalker, but someone who had planned every move. They had been watching her. The chilling thing was that the police never found the person responsible. They never even figured out who they were dealing with. But Emily's terrifying moments, caught on camera, became a symbol of how far someone would go to strike fear into another person's life. It was a reminder of how vulnerable we all are when our private spaces are violated by unseen threats. To this day, Emily still struggles with the trauma of those moments. The fear, the unknown, the feeling of being watched, it never truly leaves her. Her story is a powerful reminder of the dangers that exist when someone crosses the line from ordinary behavior to something much darker. This is CrimeSpot, and these were the most terrifying moments of Emily Thompson's life, moments that the world could never forget. How would you protect yourself if you found yourself in such a chilling situation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to stay updated on our latest true crime stories.